We are turning to breaking news headlines this morning. Norway, Ireland, and Spain saying today they're recognizing a Palestinian state in a historic move that drew condemnation from Israel and jubilation from Palestinians. Israel immediately ordering back its ambassadors from Norway and Ireland. Several European Union countries have in the past weeks indicated they plan to make the recognition, arguing a two-state solution is essential for lasting peace in the region. The decision may generate momentum for the recognition of a Palestinian state by other EU countries and could spur further steps at the United Nations, deepening Israel's isolation. Joining us live this morning to further explain this breaking news alert is national security expert over at the University of New Haven, Ken Gray. Good morning to you, Ken. Always a pleasure having you here.
Good morning, Janae. Glad to be with you again.
Glad to have you. So following this breaking news headline, first, if you could provide that historical aspect as to what the Palestinian state is, that two-part statehood, that two-state solution. Some might not know the historical background and what leads us to this point.
Sure. So the Palestinian state, as I know it, is comprised of both the West Bank and also the Gaza Strip. The West Bank has the Palestinian Authority recognized as its government. The Gaza Strip, Hamas has been the government there. And so exactly who they are recognizing is not really clear to me at this point. But in addition to Norway, Ireland, and Spain, Saudi Arabia and Japan are also considering to recognize the Palestine as a state also. So Israel is facing a lot of pressure from outside, in addition to pressures inside in both how they're conducting the war and not getting the hostages out.
For those that might not understand the historic aspect of what is happening in real time, why would a Palestinian statehood even be needed?
So back at one point, the PLO was continually attacking Israel, and after the attack at the Olympics there in Germany, the end result of that was a year later the PLO was made into having an observer status at the UN. So the Palestinians have had this approach towards trying to get recognized as a full member of the UN for some time now. Israel has recognized the Palestinian Authority as the authority for the Palestinians. So Israel has already had an ongoing relationship with the PA, the Palestinian Authority. The Palestinian Authority, however, has very little influence in the Gaza Strip itself. But the recognizing it as a full member here, as a being a state, this is going to really complicate matters for Israel in the future. And it may additionally impact it as far as the ongoing case against them in the international, in the ICC and in the ICJ, the International Court of Justice. The International Court of Justice has the complaint filed against Israel by South Africa for conducting genocide. The ICC is a criminal court, and it is seeking to obtain arrest warrants for the Prime Minister Netanyahu and the Minister of Defense, Yoav Gallant, as well as arrest warrants for the head of Hamas, Sinwar. The providing recognition to Palestine really pushes these cases forward, I believe.
As we look at how this territory is in control of Hamas, how does that further the conversation of trying to get control away from Hamas now that this is happening? We know that Hamas leadership, that terroristic organization, has pretty much taken military control, some even looking at this organization as a political group. But what does it mean as far as breaking away from their control? And also, kind of a two-part question for you, Ken. We know that Israel isn't the happiest with this decision. So how does it impact their relations with Palestine? Because as we know, when the Israel-Hamas war began, they said they were okay with Palestine. Their issue was with Hamas.
So Israel recognizes the Palestinian Authority as the governing body within the West Bank, or actually within Palestine, both the West Bank and the Gaza Strip. And they've had ongoing relationship with them for a period of time. The problem is that Hamas was elected the governing body in the Gaza Strip, and there's only been one election there. And Hamas was both the government, but also as this militant group that attacked Israel. And so Israel does not recognize Hamas as anything other than a terrorist group that has attacked them, and Israel will not recognize Hamas as a legitimate authority there for the Gaza Strip. They are instead trying to get the Palestinian Authority to have influence over the Gaza Strip, because they can at least deal with the Palestinian Authority. But Israel is absolutely opposed to the idea of a two-party state, of a two-state solution to this ongoing conflict here. They do not recognize Palestine as a legitimate state. Instead, that it's areas that they have to patrol. Now that they've been attacked by Hamas. Israel, by the way, pulled out of the Gaza Strip back in 2005, I think it was, and did not want to find itself pulled back into the Gaza Strip of having to maintain a presence there.
As we further this conversation, I want to ask you, with all of this happening in real time, do you think this is helping or hindering talks of a ceasefire, as many allies of Israel are saying they want a ceasefire to take place?
So a ceasefire will stop Israel from reaching its primary objective of ridding the area of Hamas. Instead, a ceasefire will allow Hamas to become more entrenched, to recover from the attacks on them, and more or less legitimizes Hamas in many ways. And so Israel is totally opposed to this.
Ken Gray, always a pleasure speaking with you here on Live Now from Fox. Thank you so much for joining us this morning for this breaking news alert. Before I let you go, is there anything else you'd like to add?
So the prosecutor for the ICC is seeking these arrest warrants for Netanyahu and Gallant and for Sinwar. It'll be interesting to see how that proceeds. That goes before a panel of 3 judges, and they will determine whether or not there's probable cause to issue these arrest warrants. So this will be very interesting to see how this plays out. As I've said in the past, Israel will continue to pursue Hamas until they are stopped by outside forces, and this combination of criminal charges, civil charges, and also recognition of Palestine may be that outside force that might actually stop Israel.
Always a great perspective and expertise. Ken Gray, thank you again for joining us this morning on Live Now from Fox. You enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.